What's up? Good morning. Wake up, legendary. I'm still trying to wake up legendary myself, guys. So we're going to wake up legendary together this morning. I'm also going to be trying to get some of this protein bar out of my teeth here over the course of the next 5 to 10 minutes. So if you guys, don't mind, I'm probably just going to be on the background doing that. I love these bars. This is not a plug for these bars. I'm not an affiliate, unfortunately. I'd love to be an affiliate. I drop a link on your ass right now because I love these bars. Matt, is that...
Where's the link?
So, but these bars are really good, and I would recommend them to anybody. They're called RX bars, and unless you have an egg intolerance like Matt does. And also like our guest today, I'd like to introduce our guest with an egg intolerance. No, I would never introduce somebody like that, for God's sakes. But what you are going to learn here in just a moment is how an affiliate mom turned on the organic marketing faucet. Now that is quite a headline. So let's hear all about it, all the way from, gosh, where is she calling in from? Canada, Toronto, of course. Stacy, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you're very welcome. So is your last name just pronounced La?
No, it's not. My last name is actually a long French name, okay. So I say no more. It's just easier.
No problem. Welcome. I'm thrilled and excited to talk to you. You've got some, I would say you're more considered a bit of an online marketing vet, right? Would you consider yourself
a little bit? Yeah. I definitely have some experience, but I don't think that that necessarily matters too much, but we can talk a little bit about that today too.
Yeah, for sure. So what I love, just so everybody kind of understands what our process is for this show, I don't meet any of the guests unless we've interviewed them before, unless I have a previous relationship, we've hung out at an event or something like that. But we send over a couple of questions just to try to get to know the guest. And I said, one of the questions was let me find it here. Okay. So what's important to you? What's your why? And you talked about in the past how you worked at a nuclear plant and how you wanted to spend time. You missed basically the years 2 through 7 in your daughter's life, or felt like you weren't home as much and you wanted to get home. And so you started with drop shipping and doing some other things, and then had some account shutdowns and PayPal holds and some of the stuff that a lot of us marketers have dealt with. And one of the things that you said that really caught me in your intake form was, so then you started getting into, affiliate marketing and kind of trying a different business model. And you said, I don't care how hard the journey is. Now that I know it's possible, I'll never go back to working for someone else and miss time with my family again. And I that just really struck me. So if you could tell us a little bit about, what led you to this point, but if you could particularly hit on that point, because I think so many people, it's hard for us to weigh, well, I really hate my job, or I hate what I'm doing, but now I'm running into all the challenges over here with this, right? This is really hard. But your attitude is, I don't care how hard it is. I'll never go back to the old way of doing things again. That just struck me. So tell us a little bit about who you are, and would you tell us why that is part of your mindset?
Yeah, for sure. So you touched on it a little bit already. So I used to shift work at a nuclear plant, and really it was the only way that I knew at the time how to get ahead for my family, make extra money and really kind of achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve. And that meant working 12-hour shifts, rotating night shifts and day shifts when my daughter was starting from around when she was 2 all the way until she was 6 or 7. And the point where I think that really pushed me the farthest was when I actually calculated how much time I worked there. And it wasn't just the 12-hour shifts, it was overtime on top of that. I had actually worked 6 years in the amount of time of 5 years. So I worked an extra year in the 5 years time that I would never ever get back again from seeing my daughter and spending time with my family. And it wasn't that it was, you know, the worst job in the world. That's not really the point. It's that it was taking me away from the things that I actually wanted and the things that I loved in life, which was my family. So when I heard that, you know, it's possible to make an income from home just with your laptop, and at the time, that's the first thing that I knew, really, you know, there's a possibility to make money online from your laptop. I thought that I have to try this. Like, there's no way I'm not trying this, because I'm not losing another full year away from my family just to get ahead by, you know, not even really that much in the grand scheme of things. And, you know, working for a business that kind of treats you like a piece of furniture, like they'll move you around where they need you. And there's no, you know, like you're just like a tool to them to achieve, you know, their goal. So I think that was really something that kind of struck me after a while, is that, you know, their business is their business, and, you know, they're a big company, and they really just treat us like, you know, we're tools to achieve their goal, when I could be doing that for myself. I could be spending that time and working towards something that will better my family and allow me to actually spend time with them and not miss out on all those years and all of that time while my daughter is growing up and she's still young and needs me as a mom. So that was something that, you know, really was the deciding factor. And you know, I kind of just made a decision. I picked a date and I said, of this date, like, I'm not working there anymore. Like, this is going to be it. Like, I'm leaving. I don't care at what point, like, it's going to be, like, I'm walking out. And I did. I just picked that date, and I left one day, and I didn't look back.
So awesome. And I just the decisiveness of your decision making and putting your priorities, having your priorities in order and making decisions based on your priorities is what I took from what you just said.
Yeah.
Is that, do you feel like you have a certain conviction about when you make a decision and you have something that you want, you plan, and then you execute? Is that part of your personality?
Yeah, that's definitely me. If I want something, I just jump in. You know, you tend to kind of second guess things a little bit, but I learned that if you do that for too long, you won't move. Like, you will just stand still and you don't actually take a step forward, which is, it could be worse than stepping backwards, because at least when you fail and you take a step backwards, you learn something. But when you stay in the same spot and you can't decide what to do and you do nothing, then you don't learn anything. You don't move forward, and you also don't learn something. So I'm definitely a jump in with 2 feet and just go for it, because what really do you have to lose? I mean, you could learn something that you never knew you could learn by doing that.
So what was that day that you walked out?
It was the last day of school for my daughter. And because I knew it was 2019.
Okay. So rather
recently. Yeah. So I just said, as of this date, it's summer. She's going to be done school. I usually don't get to spend the summers with her at all because I was working shift work. And I just said, you know what? I am at that day, I'm leaving.
All right. So just in case anybody's wondering what this attitude, what these principles that Stacy uses in her life and business, what they produce, well, clearly producing quality outcomes in her personal life. I would assume your relationship and in your regrets have gone down, and your relationship has you feel better about your relationship with your daughter and your family as of today. Am I right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. She also made $500,000 in 6 months with drop shipping, which was her first online business model. Now, you'll never hear me bashing these business models, because I believe that if somebody's determined enough to be successful, they can be successful at anything they do. It's just not my preferred business model. And I talk about that over and over again, all over our training. Low margins. You're sort of trying to compete with Amazon and Walmart. There's shipping issues, bringing products over from Asia and et cetera, PayPal bans like you ran into, or what PayPal will do a lot of times is hold your money. I've still got 10 grand in there from like 5 years ago. It's absurd. So she also, so now after doing that, I guess that was the Q4 of 2020 that happened. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're brand new with affiliate marketing. You found
Yeah.
Legendary and you kind of saw the potential. You heard about high ticket, information products being sold through affiliate marketing and potentially even creating your own courses and so forth. And what attracted you to that?
So, I mean, you kind of said a lot of the things that attracted me to affiliate marketing already, because, I mean, when people first talk to you about drop shipping, it sounds amazing, right? It sounds like, oh my gosh, like it's the best thing. You just sell something for, pennies and you can mark it up and you make all of this profit. And that's not the case for the most part. And I would love to hear from somebody who is successfully drop shipping that would say different, because there are a lot of moving parts that you really need to keep your hand on, and you only really have two hands. So it's not an easy business model to be successful at. It's a simple business model, but it's not easy. So and I found that a lot of the big numbers and things that people show trying to convince people to get into drop shipping, like that's not the reality of the story. And there's not very many people who will tell you like the truth about drop shipping. Like you've already said most of the things that could potentially go wrong, and there's always something else. But the thing that drove me to kind of start looking at affiliate marketing, and I always sort of knew what it was, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't that moment in my life where I was supposed to start that yet. And when I saw, I started thinking of different ways that I could, start generating income online without having all of the hassles of drop shipping, where, you have the profit margin, you have a good product that is selling, and not just something that you're hoping is good and you don't get a lot of refunds on, when you sell it with drop shipping. So that's what led me down the road of affiliate marketing. And it was just kind of by fluke that I happened to come across somebody on TikTok talking about it, which is how I came across Legendary, which is funny because I think a lot of people probably could have that same story. Like they hear somebody talking about, how great the training is and how it's kind of changed their lives. So it kind of led me down that road because it was the only thing that I didn't really know how to do like the right way yet. So I was looking for, I'm really big on training. I love investing in training. I've spent a lot of money investing in training because I like to learn things as quick as possible. I don't like wasting my time trying to learn something on YouTube and, all that. I just don't have the patience for that. So I really wanted, a good training that was going to show me exactly what I need to do as quick as possible. So that's kind of what led me to Legendary, because I heard that's pretty much what I heard about it, like great things, and I wanted to see for myself. So so that's kind of what led me here.
So have we lived up to the hype? What has your experience with Legendary been, the community, the training, and the outcomes?
It's been great. And you know what? From spending a lot of money on training, I've purchased and invested in a lot of trainings that didn't live up. So I do have a lot of comparisons to compare it to. And it really is a full-fledged like training. It's exactly what it says it is. Like it lives up to the hype. And even if you're just a beginner and you're just starting out with the 15-day challenge, even that, the value in that for, the small investment that people will make is through the roof. Like it doesn't compare to what you actually pay for it. Like it's an amazing training, and the support and the everyone in the group is great. Like I love reading everyone's comments, and I don't always post in there, but I like to see that there's a community of people who are all working together to help everyone build their businesses and grow together.
Mm-hmm. And lifetime updates. This is one of the things that like I always like to toot our own horn about. This is a big deal because in a industry to where it's the guru is always hawking the next best 2.0, 3.0, whatever next thing you've got to buy. We give lifetime updates to all of our training. So if any of you guys who are listening, so Stacy and I are talking, but there's almost 170 people listening, and there'll be many more thousands here over just the next couple of weeks. Remember this: you get lifetime updates to our training. So when we update our business blueprint, when we update a specific blueprint, when we update a module or the entire 15-day challenge, you get a free update to that. So just keep that in mind, guys. Our goal is that you don't have to go elsewhere to get training, because the mixed messaging from various people creates confusion. I would almost rather you, if you're going to go take some other training, stop listening to us. Just stop listening to us, because it's going to be confusing. You're going to be getting messaging from two different like sources, and no two sources are the same, you know, and quite frankly, I can't validate that other people out there are actually, like you said, being truthful with what they're teaching and talking about, that they're actually disclosing advertising costs, that they're disclosing, you know, the truth of the matter is that most screenshots and BS income examples that you see on the internet, they may not be doctored as in photoshopped, but just like you said, the whole story isn't told. The fact that they, you know, yeah, you might have made 100,000 in drop shipping, but you spend 95,000 in ads.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I know exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So it's really important that you sort of unsubscribe and tune out. One of the reasons why most gurus and kind of program creators, you know, don't really have a lot of testimonials is because they don't want to hear from their clients. They don't want to hear from their clients. Their clients are not getting results. And so, yeah, our goal, you know, again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn and sort of play off of your feedback, but I just want everybody who's listening to know what our intention. It's not just to hawk a course, it's to create a full-blown experience for people to actually get results and then continue here in our community, or if you want to go somewhere else, fine, but not to have to mix and match, you know, what we're teaching somewhere else. So I'm ranting, but you know, excuse me, I felt that it was important to kind of add on to what you were saying. So, so where do we go from here? You're on TikTok. You've never seen any organic, like anything blowing up like that.
No.
I think people probably think that we're all about TikTok. We're not. TikTok just happens to be a platform right now that's really powerful. You're up to 120. You were able to grow your TikTok to 120,000 followers in 19 days. That's going to piss some people off.
Yeah.
They're like, holy shit, I've been doing this for whatever, and I don't have, you know, 120 followers. But what would you attribute to your success up until this point? Is it communication? Is it knowing how to create a hook and get people's attention? Like, what would you attribute your success to building that audience so fast?
I think it's a combination of things, really. I mean, like when you're on TikTok, it's very much just about, it's a lot of speed. And what I mean by that is people are scrolling really quickly. So you only have like less than a second to catch someone's attention. So if I could give somebody even just like the biggest piece of advice that I could give is just treat that first second like it means everything. Because if you can't catch their attention in those very first moments, then they're going to just scroll right past. So you need to do something in that first moment to really get them to stop scrolling. And I think like what I've done with my TikTok is kind of treat it like I used to treat my e-commerce ads, like, because it's kind of the same thing where when you're building an ad, it's kind of the same idea. You need to catch someone's attention really quickly. So I sort of build my content like I'm doing that, but without actually promoting, like without always promoting something. So it's really just catching attention really quickly. And then once you have a video that really is going viral or doing really well, continue to pump out content, because TikTok will continue to show that viral video and people will come to your profile at that point. So even if you have a video that's not going viral, it will still get more traction because of the traffic that is coming to your profile from that initial post that's doing really well. So consistency and just catch people's attention is really the biggest thing I think that helped. I mean, I don't know that anyone really knows how or why their account does so well, but that seems to be working for me. I just, I made a goal on December 11th that I was going to post every single day 3 times. And I pretty much lived up to that, except for I think 2 days where I didn't actually post content on, 3 times. So consistency and just, try to catch attention.
I think the idea there of, building your content like you built your ads before. I want you guys to think about, I want to put this in a different context. So you guys really catch what she just said. When you're paying money to put a video in front of people, a Facebook ad, wherever you're advertising, you put extra effort into making sure that that particular video is damn good. And you really make sure that you've got what we call either a hook or a state break, right? You catch their attention, you break their state. When people are, you have to think about when people are sitting there scrolling on Facebook or TikTok, they are in a light trance. They're in a light trance. They're not fully hypnotized. They're not like, like you would see in a like a hypnotic performance or whatever, but they are in a light trance, more so than they are even when they're watching a movie. You know how when you're watching a movie, you're sort of in a bit of a trance, right? If it's a good movie and you're kind of into it, your eyes are glazed over a little bit and you're locked into the screen. So that's a specific state, as Tony Robbins would call it, right? Your state. So what we need to do is we need to break that state, right? That light trance. So how do we do that? Well, we say something, we ask a question, we jump into the screen. It doesn't matter. We flash cash, we flash, women, use their bodies, right? For men, that's a quick scroll, right? We're not particularly, most of the people in our community are not doing that, but I ain't hating if you do, right? I mean, if that's your style, guys too. I mean, whatever. If I jumped into the screen with a in my underwear, it'd probably catch some people's attention too, right? Maybe not for the right reasons, but so we want to break their state, right? That's the big thing that we want to do, and that's one of the most important parts of a video ad, right? Because if you don't catch their attention and get them to stop scrolling in that sort of hypnotic state, then your ad's not going to do well. It's not going to get clicks. It's not going to get people to watch the entire video. And I really consider TikTok videos like an ad because you've got such a short period of time. You can't really drone on an ad. You need to get to the point relatively quick. Right. So thinking of your TikTok videos, even though they're free or organic, like they're paid ads, is a smart strategy. And I appreciate you pointing that out. Anything that you would add to that?
I think it's really just, being consistent and not only doing what works all the time, but trying new things too. Because, I think what happens is people on TikTok, once everyone does the trend, they sort of get used to that trend. They get used to that song. They get used to the same transitions. So it's really important to be testing different things too, and not just copying, like, use your own imagination and try something new, because that might be the thing that does best. I think one of my best posts was something that, like, one of the posts that I thought I thought I was gonna do horribly bad, and it was one of the posts that's done the best, which I've kind of learned happens a lot of the time. So really just try your best, be consistent, and go with the trends, of course, but use your own imagination and try different things too, because you never know. And like, as long as you're trying, then that's all you can ask, because kind of like I said before, when you do nothing, you don't move anywhere. So even if you try something and it fails, in your mind it's a failure, it's not, because you'll learn something from that. You'll learn from all of the posts that don't do well, and you can improve from learning from those posts too.
You're pretty popular. A lot of people know you and are shouting you out in the comments and stuff. So you seem to have made your impact. Your reach is pretty far and wide. So what is your goals? Like you had let us know, like, before, about how you made a goal to quit your job, and how you seem to be rather strategic in how you operate. It's not like you don't strike me as somebody who just kind of wakes up, throws spaghetti at the wall every day, sees what sticks. I mean, you're kind of just floundering around. So let us know what your goals are, so we could learn how you sort of strategize, plan your month, plan your year. Where are you going and what are you doing? And how can we learn from you about how you strategize and then execute?
Yeah. So when I first started this, it was more of a test. I look at everything like a test. Everything I do is a test for me to see what happens, because you actually don't know. You can plan that it's going to be the best thing in the world, and the very first day something could happen that throws everything off the rails. So for me right now, when I started affiliate marketing, just with Legendary a couple couple months ago, it was really just to build a foundation, a future foundation for whatever I was going to build onto that platform with affiliate marketing. So I have it kind of, in a couple simple steps, and then every day I sort of build on that step. So step one for me right now is just foundation, building up a foundation and an audience to help me grow a strong business in the future. So for me with TikTok and with the training that you can get with Legendary, it really sets you up to build a successful business, because from experience, kind of like what you talked about, when you're paying for ads and when you have paid for ads, the power of when you find a platform that allows you to achieve what you can achieve for free with versus paying for ads. And I think for anyone who is maybe on the fence about getting on TikTok, and I know you said, we kind of always talk about TikTok, but I think it's important because this platform allows you to do something that you've never been able to do, like in the last few years, because you can get traffic to or build an audience very quickly and quite easily as long as you're successful. So for me, building this foundation now will allow me to have a successful business for years, potentially in the future. So I think it's really important. Like, my strategy is to just provide the best content I can, help as many people as possible. And what happens is, your business grows organically when you don't always, ask for something from somebody, and you're really just trying to help people. Then you really just grow as a person and as a business, because people come to you because they learn to trust you and they know that you will actually help. And I think that's really important right now, because you kind of said it before, you don't always know who to trust, because some people will tell you that they help you, and you can invest in, or you do whatever it is they say to get their help, and it never ends up working out that way. And I think that's one of the things that drew me into Legendary, was that it is exactly what it says it's going to be. Like, you're exactly who you say you are, and the training and the value that you get from the training is exactly what it is, and more actually, because you're not always sure what you're going to get, but it's true to what it says it is. And I think that's really, really important. So for me, in the future of my business, I want to grow something sort of similar where, when people hear my name, they know that they're going to get value, and they know that they're going to be helped. And that's really the most important thing for me, because I think if you help people, then you will never have to ask for anything in your life, because you will get everything that you want by helping others. And I don't know that a lot of people understand that concept, because in business, a lot of it is asking for things when really you should be helping. And I think that's the main part. I'm not really sure where my business will go, but my real goal is to just help as many people achieve what I've been able to achieve, which is, if you're not happy in your life and you're not happy in your job, you don't have to stay there. And I think that's really important for people to know, because a lot of people think that they have to. And if I can help people see that there's other opportunities, whether they want to take them or not, at least if you plant that seed and they know that there is an opportunity, they can live the life that they want, potentially, as long as they decide to take the first step and go for it. That's really all you got to do.
Yeah. So that message is incredible, and the story behind it, like, your story is very on brand for that message. And I think if you guys can, I like to connect dots for you guys who are listening, because I want you to understand what some of Stacy's magic is. Clearly your magic is unique to you, and nobody could duplicate your specific magic. But in terms of, if I was to break down what sort of we could model in our own business from you, it's that your message and what your actual story is are so congruent and so on brand that it's like, it's inspirational, it's convincing, so just that whole message that you just shared in the last 15 seconds of what you just said is completely on par with what you did. You did walk out of your job. You did it because you wanted to spend time with your daughter. You didn't want to miss any more time with her. And so, how can you guys use that sort of hero story, as I call it, sort of what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. What it was like for you was you were missing your daughter's life, working in a nuclear plant, being treated like a piece of furniture, which I've never heard that before, and I thought that was really cute and clever. What happened is that you heard about making money online, and you didn't know if it was true. You were skeptical, but you thought, you know what? I'd be silly not to give this a shot. I'd be silly not to at least try this. And so you did. And what happened is it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. And you set a date to quit your job, to walk out, and you did it on that, and you've never looked back. And you've stumbled, and you've failed forward, and you've made money, but you've had challenges, and it's hurt, and it's been painful, and it's not been easy along the way.
No.
But you would not trade it for anything else in the world. See how I'm
Never.
telling her story right back to her because of that formula that I use and that I've been teaching for years, which is what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. I learned that in recovery, right? That, I tell people all the time, I mean, I'm not as smart as I come off as. Most of the things that I'm teaching are things that I've been taught, and I just figured out how to sort of master them. So what it was like, what happened, what it's like now. And the more that your what it's like now is connected to your what it was like, right? Or the message that you're trying to tell people you've actually already lived, right?
Yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah, for sure.
That's what's important. If I'm telling you something, it's important that I've either already done it or I'm doing it. So even if you guys haven't quit your job, even you may say, well, I didn't walk out of my job yet, right? I'm not where Stacy's at. She's, right? We get into comparisonitis. But here, as long as that's the journey that you're on, even if you're moving in that direction, right? You have a goal. This is my date. It's kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk. He has like a big goal of buying the Jets, right? So it's like he always talks about that. He hasn't done it yet, but it's inspirational to hear him talk about. So if you guys want a more on-brand message and you want your what it's like now to be more connected with your what it was like, but you're saying my what it was like, I'm still living my what it was like. I'm still working at my job, right? But here's how you change that. You set the goal. I'm going to quit my job by the end of this year, or whatever your goal is. I'm going to have 10,000. I'm going to have my credit card debt paid off, whatever it is, right? The more you can create that congruency with that messaging for what you're selling, what your message is, you're actually also doing it, the more powerful it is. And that's what I really picked up with you, Stacy, that story, that message is so powerful. And hopefully what I just said made sense. What comes up for you as I'm saying that?
Sorry, pardon, what did you say?
What comes up for you, or what would you add to that to put it in your own words? Anything?
Yeah, I would just say that, having a goal is important, and it doesn't matter what the goal, and especially if you're using, social media to grow your business, people love to see your journey. It doesn't matter if you're at step 1. It doesn't matter if you're at step, 5,000. People relate to you because you're genuine. So it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. People will follow you because they relate to you and they feel a connection to you. So if you're only at step 1, then good. Talk about being at step 1, because everyone starts there. And I think that's almost more relatable than talking about how you made however much you've made, because when you talk about that a lot, people don't connect because most people don't even think that they could ever make that money in their life. So when you talk about from, the step 1 and you're just getting started with something new and you're excited about it, people can relate to that. So I think it's important to just be you. Find your genuine story, no matter what it is, and just go with it, because you can't change it. And the real truth is if you lie about it, there's no way you're not going to be found out. People know, and they will, especially now, right? It's impossible to do that. So just be your genuine self and just go with it. And it will work out. I mean, I truly believe that. I think what you think about the most, you get. It's happened to me my entire life. Whatever you think about every day when you get up, you get. So, I mean, it doesn't matter when it happens. It will happen if you think about it and you keep moving forward. Just the only way you do not succeed in life is if you give up. It's the only thing, and it doesn't matter what you apply that to. If you stop doing it, that's when you fail. And if you just keep moving, even if it's, a tiny step every day, one small thing, you're still moving forward, and you'll get closer and closer to whatever your goal happens to be.
Nothing to add. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, for coming out of your work mode, your hustle mode, being a mom, having a family, and building your business to, obviously we can catch you on TikTok, but it's so fun to speak to you live and to hear people kind of come out of their kind of marketing mode and talk about what they're doing. It's really fun to me. So thank you for that. And hopefully you'll keep us posted, be willing to come back and continue to share your knowledge.
I will. Yeah. Thanks for having me. It was great.
All right, Stacy. We'll see you later. Be well, be legendary, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
All right, let's get her handle, her profile back up, so people are like, is that Stacy, the famous Stacy that I'm right? So go check her out, right? Go check her out on TikTok. Once again, right? Somebody else that would be so valuable to have in your network, right? To clearly, obviously learn from, but also to kind of see how she operates, see how she executes, right? This is somebody who's clearly about her business. I mean, she's not, messing around, if you will, right? So if you could connect and support her, right? You might be saying, golly, she doesn't need my support. I need her support, right? But here's the interesting thing. You go and you support her business. You comment on every video she makes over the next 90 days. You like everything she does, right? You become her biggest raving fan, right? Guess what? That comes back to you 10 times. That comes back to you tenfold. That comes back to you tenfold, right? So here's the mind shift that I'm trying to help you guys have each and every time we have a guest on this. And I say at the end, go support them. You're probably thinking, I need the support. These people don't need my support. I need their support. No. You go lift them up. You go support them. And here's what we're doing. We're shifting from needy to leader, right? We're shifting our mindset from being needy, from needing people's help, to going and supporting people, to giving, to leading, to supporting, right? And even if we don't believe that, it will act ourselves into a new way of thinking. We won't think ourselves into a new way of acting. We never will. That's never possible. You can never sit there and go, there's no weeds in the yard. There's no weeds in the yard. There's no weeds in the yard. You can never sit around and say, I'm not fat. I'm not fat. I'm not fat, right? You can't. You're not going to melt fat like that. But if you go and you do the gym routine and eat good for 90 days, guess what? You'll lose weight, but guess what? You'll believe that it's possible as well. So here's the shift that we're doing. When we go and we support like people who are taking action and having success, what we do is we lift them up and we begin to contribute instead of feeling like we always need to take and we need to be supported, right? We end up supporting, and we end up changing the way that we think to I can contribute, I can help, I can lead, I can deliver value. Why? Because it's a simple tweak, and this community gives you an opportunity to do that. We begin supporting each other. It's a simple thing that any one of you can do. And if you do that for 90 days, you just nothing but where can I contribute? Who can I support? Not who can I take from? Who can help me? I'm not getting enough support, right? Who can I support? Let me tell you where I learned this from. Getting clean from heroin. What the hell are you talking about, Dave? We're talking about marketing here. I couldn't get clean for so long. And it was always about Dave. Well, I'm the victim and I can't ever find anything that works for me. And somebody finally said, go find somebody to help and get out of yourself. And when I did that, everything changed. I started sharing my story. I started helping other people. I only had like a week clean, and somebody asked me to come speak and share my story. And I said, I don't know how to share my story. And they said, well, just go tell them what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now, right? Which is the same damn thing that I tell you guys to use on your channels. And I went, well, son of a bitch, that's easy. I can do that, right? So I did. And you know what? I didn't get up in front of a bunch of people and say, this was in a treatment center. I didn't get up in front and say, well, I've got 10 years clean now and I'm all. No, I said, you know what? It was hell for me. I'm like 5 days clean. And you know what? If I can get 5 days, you can get 5 days too. You know? And they were like, yeah, we love this guy. Because I was like telling the truth and I was real and raw. And that was just, and guess what? All of a sudden I looked back and I said, son of a bitch, I got 30 days clean. I got 90 days clean. I got a year clean. What have I been doing? What's the magic? The magic is that I started helping other people. And now you're looking at somebody who has 12, 13 years. 13 years. And the only thing that changed was I stopped needing people to do everything for me and help me. And I got out of my addiction to struggling. And I started contributing and helping. So go and lift Stacy up. Let's throw her TikTok handle up there one more time. Go and subscribe to her, follow her, lift her up, comment on everything she does. And anybody who comes on the show, let's lift them up. And guess what? We're going to do the same thing for you when you're on the show. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode of Wake Up Legendary. Be legendary. Go kick some ass.